Greetings YouTube, Simon here. Now on today's live stream of Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, I went ahead and made my way over to Tiamat quite early on during our Disc 4 adventure, and I did that so we could draw Eden, and a few people have been questioning and asking me why is it that we had to draw Eden from Tiamat, why didn't I just draw him from Ultima, and why haven't I actually fought against Ultima? Is it because he's too difficult? No, it's not. Actually, if you check out on my YouTube channel, you'll see that I've defeated Ultima multiple times across various playthroughs of Final Fantasy VIII. I've defeated Omega Weapon, who is the hardest encounter, multiple times as well in this game. And on top of that, I've defeated many of these super bosses across Final Fantasy as a series. So that's not the reason I've been avoiding Ultima. The reason I've been avoiding Ultima is because of the fixed enemy encounters that occur in the Deep Sea Research Centre. You see, those fixed enemy encounters are going to be our main source of rare items that will help us to boost our character stats later on Disc 4. But once you defeat Ultima Weapon, those fixed enemies encounters disappear. They are no longer accessible. Now, if you don't care about maxing out your character stats or anything like that, that's absolutely fine. Go ahead, defeat Ultima. But that is the reason why I haven't done so, because I do need those fixed enemy encounters. Incidentally, I'm not even saying that I'm going to go and max out all my character stats, but I like to leave my options open, so I don't defeat Ultima on Disc 3, and then on Disc 4 I have the choice either of going to defeat Ultima if I want to at that point, or using those fixed enemy encounters to go ahead and start maxing out my character stats, or do both and have multiple save files. In either case, I end up having to draw Eden from Tiamat. And by the way, there are no rewards on Ultima Weapon that are unique to Ultima Weapon. Okay, you have the Eden card, which can be collected on Disc 4, and I'm going to be getting that soon. You have Ultima Magic. I was already maxed out with Ultima Magic on all 3 active party members before I even reached the Deep Sea Research Centre. And of course, there's the Eden Guardian Force, which I'm going to show you how to get from Tiamat in this video. So let's get on with that, shall we? Once you first arrive at Ultimecia Castle, there is one boss you have to fight before you can make your way directly to Tiamat. By the way, if you're not drawing Eden, then I strongly recommend that you don't go straight to Tiamat after the first boss, because you'll be skipping out some of the other bosses which you're going to need to defeat at some point anyway, so you best go through a more productive path in that sense. But in order to get Eden, this is the way I wanted to do it. So go ahead, make your way into the castle, go through the cutscenes, etc. and then fight the first boss. This is the boss where you can only use the attack command. Incidentally, that first boss is simple enough. Just make sure you guard against Firegar, Thundergar and Blizzardgar on your elemental defense, and guard against sleep on status defense, and if possible stick holy on elemental attack. Now, once you have defeated that boss, you're going to get to unlock your first command ability. Now, if you're taking the usual route through the castle, then most people would recommend at this point that you unlock the magic ability. But if you haven't unlocked Siren or some of the other Guardian Forces that you should have got earlier, you'll probably want to unlock the draw ability. We are also going to unlock the draw ability because we're going to need that in our next battle against Tiamat, which is going to be the very next fight in order to draw Eden. So if, like me, you're going after Tiamat, and I assume you are if you're following this guide, then make sure, this is very important, you do select draw as your first seal to break, because otherwise you ain't going any further. Oh, I just have to interrupt the video for a brief shout out to Nobuo Uematsu for such a superb score here in this place. Oh, I love it. Anyhow, where were we? Okay, so after the first boss, you're going to go back and save. You can go back, by the way, incidentally, and save whenever you wish to here at this save point. You don't need to worry about the fact that you have seals, because the seals will be broken every time you leave the castle. Now it is time to start pathing to Tiamat, so I just recommend at this point that you go ahead and have either Diablos' Encounter None equipped, or go ahead and turn on the Remaster's No Encounter toggle. In either case, that'll just help us get there quicker. There's plenty of opportunity to farm in this dungeon if you want to, but just let's get Eden first as a priority. Okay, so make your way up to where we fought that first boss, and then head through the door. Once you've gone through the door there, we can enter a new part of the castle, and then make our way onto this chandelier, and when we position ourselves correctly, it comes crashing down to the floor. By the way, those green little gooey things you see around the castle, they allow you to switch to your other party. Right now, they're just a great way of making our way out of the castle quickly, because our other party hasn't moved from the entrance. Now in the courtyard area, what you're going to want to do is just head over to the left hand side of the bottom part of the fountain there and make sure you pick up the treasure vault key. That's all you need to do in this area. There's a draw point you can draw from, of course, if you so wish. And as soon as you're ready, just make your way inside here through the main door. Now, I'm sure many of you are aware of the fact there is an exciting optional encounter in this area, which you can rest assured I will be covering later. But for now, we're going to head up the stairs and make our way to this bridge. It's very important you walk on this bridge, do not run. And as you make your way across, you can pick up the armory key. Make sure you do so. That's going to come in useful later on. We don't need it actually for this episode, but it's good to have nonetheless. Right, so once you've got the armory key, continue across the bridge by walking once again until you reach the other side. It's interesting actually, the journey straight to Tiamat from the start of the dungeon always ends up being a little shorter than I remember. Anyhow, once you've made your way into the next part of the dungeon, you're going to head up this spiral staircase, which is the clock tower area. Just keep going up until you find the bell. You do have to go up a couple of screens before you'll be able to see it, but it is a fairly linear path as you can see here, and with no encounters turned on, there's not going to be any interruptions anyhow, so just persevere and you will get there. Come on, Squall, we believe in you, you can do it. It is quite a freaky place actually, this dungeon, and I'm just thinking about the final dungeon of the game before in Final Fantasy VII, the Great Crater. They're both pretty awesome final dungeons in my opinion, but I actually prefer the Final Fantasy VIII one. There's just so much going on here. Anyway, there's the bell. Now, we're going to be using the bell to just swing across to the other side. I mean, hey, who could resist if you see a giant bell there over an 80-foot drop? Yeah, you've got to, haven't you? Well, luckily we made it first time, no free fall deaths, and we're going to go through this door here into the next area. And there he is, the Bahamut clone himself, Tiamat, and he of course is the focus of our episode. So we're going to be battling him. There's a couple of things to note about Tiamat. First of all, he's very, very easy, as long as you've prepared your characters correctly. Secondly, in order to prepare your characters, you just need to defend against fire magic. So make sure you plonk Fire onto your elemental defense for all three party members. And then you're not really going to take a whole lot of damage. As a matter of fact, I don't think I take any damage during this encounter, because Tiamat spends his time counting down. And he counts down by spelling the word, I think it's Dark Flare, and once he's counted down Dark Flare, he casts the spell Dark Flare, which does fire damage. So if you're guarding against it or absorbing it, you're just going to be healed instead. Nice. Anyhow, don't forget the reason we came to this encounter, that's to get Eden, so make sure you draw Eden as a matter of priority. And as you saw, I did just successfully draw Eden. It's a very simple thing to do, so long as you've unlocked that draw command, and doing so also nets you a trophy. As a matter of fact, I actually have access to all the Guardian forces now, outside of Odin or Gilgamesh, which I'll be saving until later. Gilgamesh I will never have access to, which is by design, but I will gain access to Odin. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, we've got all the Guardian forces now, so let's just get through the rest of this battle, which is pretty much a formality. Which is a bit of a shame in my opinion, because he looks intimidating and Bahamut was quite a challenge. But I guess they were a little bit scared with how to balance some of the bosses in this place because of locking out the various abilities and stuff. It's an interesting mechanic, but I'd rather have them given us some tougher encounters if it meant just keeping those abilities instead. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. We also get the status card for defeating him, which is a nice ability, except I've got the ribbon now. Ho 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 ho. Thank you, Angelo Search. And once you've gone ahead and beaten the boss, go ahead and name your new Guardian Force, and then you can literally backtrack out of the dungeon the same way we came in. Oh, talking about which, we need to actually select our next seal. Now, last time we picked draw, this time we're going to pick magic in order to keep on track with what everybody else have been doing, going for the dungeon normally. Now, just before we continue, let's equip Eden onto one of our characters. And presumably you've been following along with my guide, so perhaps you're using the same junction setup that I'm using. If so, you're going to want to give Eden to your defense-oriented character. So that's the character with Brothers, Carbuncle, Leviathan, Doomtrain and Tombury. Chuck Eden onto them and make sure to start learning abilities. Now, the first ability you're probably going to want to prioritise with Eden is his special ability, which only actually costs 30 AP to learn, so it won't take all that amount of time, fortunately. And that is the GF ability, Medicine Refinement. Okay, it's down at the bottom of the list there. As you can see, there's a couple of other cool things that Eden has that you're probably going to want to learn, including some stuff that you can't see yet. So just prioritise that ability we've got selected. Right, let's go ahead and leave the dungeon. And that's just the same path that we used to get here, but in reverse. However, don't forget, once you reach one of these shiny green things, you can go ahead and use that to just switch to your other party members. That will take you to the entrance of the dungeon on this occasion, and then you can use that party to leave, and everybody will be reunited, and you'll take control of Squall once more. And it's at this point I recommend, if you want to go and do any optional stuff back out on the world map, that you actually go ahead and get the Ragnarok back. But I think we'll leave that to the next episode, since I've rambled on enough here. So thanks for stopping by, checking out the video today. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to leave a like, and come back soon for more Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. We are so close to getting this one completed now, but we're not there yet, so stay tuned.
Sounds like you're having fun.